On March 22nd, 1984, 6 teachers at the McMartin Daycare Center, run by the Bucky family in Manhattan Beach, California, were charged with 115 counts of child abuse perpetrated against 48 children. These children accused their teachers of involving them in a series of strange and often outlandish rituals. Judy Johnson, the mother who had levied the first accusations, claimed that her son had been abused by teacher Raymond Bucky, who had sodomized her son while wearing a mask and holding his head in the toilet. Key McFarlane, on the staff at Children's Institute International, began interviewing the daycare center's children on November the 1st. The children denied any abuse, that is, until McFarlane began her questioning. Once McFarlane managed to get them talking, they told her incredible stories. They watched as their abusers beat horses to death with bats and machetes. They were molested in car washes and grocery stores and in secret tunnels under their school. They dug up bodies in cemeteries using pickaxes larger than they were. They jumped out of planes over Palos Verdes. They watched their teachers fly through the air like witches.
That's too much now. That's...
I'm not done. And
okay. Continue, please.
When shown a series of photographs, one child claimed that actor and roundhouse kick virtuoso Chuck Norris, aka Walker Texas Ranger, a favorite television program of my father's, and mine as a child, was among the children's abusers.
That's more believable than witches.
Chuck Norris?
I'm offended as a witch.
He's America's Ranger. He's America's roundhouse kicker.
My dad fought him.
Chuck Norris?
Yeah.
Badass.
Really?
Yeah.
We have pictures.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, he's no
Next to the
molester.
American flag.
Chuck Norris is no hot take. Chuck Norris is no molester. For her part,
Damn.
Judy. This is my childhood here.
Thanks, Rob.
In the eyes of a ranger, the unsuspected stranger. For her part, better know the truth. I could go on. Wrong or right. Okay.
I never knew you were this
The eyes of the ranger are upon you.
Oh my god.
I sense
One of the saddest moments in 90s television is when Chuck Norris attended a funeral on Walker, Texas Ranger, and uttered the line as it began to rain, "Tears from heaven, Trevette. Tears from heaven."
I think I'm gonna start crying.
America wept. America wept. He is not a molester, is the point I'm trying to make.
America wept.
For her...
Because with a quote like
It was
that,
the old guy with the mustache and the white hair. You guys,
I really
you
hope
guys
someone
ever
that's
watch
listening
this show?
knows what you're
Yeah, they know.
Oh, he knows.
My 30-something listeners are aware, and also Hunter. For her part, Judy Johnson's own accusations followed a similar trajectory. So getting back to the mother of the young man with whom these accusations began. For her part, Judy Johnson's own accusations followed a similar trajectory to the children. So Judy was the mother again of the first boy who started these accusations. They grew more and more extreme as time passed. She said that Bucky made her son ride naked on a horse and molested him dressed as a cop, a fireman, a clown, and Santa Claus.
No.
Not at the same time.
Oh.
Separately.
That's gotta be cultural appropriation somehow, right?
Of Santa Claus? No, it's...
I would be offended if I was Santa.
What culture is Santa, other than America?
A human, a man.
He's a man of the North Pole.
He's just a
It's
man.
offensive to
Oh, he
North
lists that?
Poleans.
He's just a man. He doesn't deserve to be involved in this.
Neither does Chuck Norris, is the point I'm trying to make. Noticing that her family dog had some hair missing, she wondered aloud to the cops whether the dog may have been sodomized by the Satanic daycare providers.
Oh my god.
Somehow, they got into her house and sodomized her dog. I know.
That's a weird accusation.
Is it?
Well,
So there's multiple children making these accusations.
48.
And did they all have did multiple people say oh, that I was dressed up as Santa Claus and this happened? Why are
No,
they
this is just coming from Judy Johnson, the mother of the boy. She thought they were breaking into her house as Santa Claus and sodomizing her dog. The children didn't say that, but the children. Well, I'll help you understand this, Shanna.
Okay.
We'll follow this through, see where it goes. So, Judy claimed that they jabbed her son with scissors, that they jammed his fingers into a goat's anus, and that Peggy Bucky, Raymond's mother, had killed a baby and made him drink the blood.
Right.
Oh.
Mrs. Johnson, at the time, creating all these claims, was in the midst of a divorce, and anxious to get her son into the popular McMartin Center after taking a job selling lamps. She took the job selling lamps. She was like, I gotta get my kid into daycare. She's like, the McMartin Center is
Do
the
what
place
you
he's gotta go.
lamps. Yeah.
Yeah.
She ignored the wait list and simply dropped him on the front doorstep one day, figuring they would have to look after him.
Oh.
The owner, Peggy, in a fateful decision, took pity on Mrs. Johnson and formally admitted the boy later that year. And then in 1985, after her divorce was final, she was involuntarily committed by the police and diagnosed with acute schizophrenia. 2 years later, Judy Johnson would be dead at the age of 44 of complications from alcoholism. But Johnson was not solely responsible for the prosecution of the McMartin teachers. Key McFarlane, the social worker, filed, along with her co-workers, suspicions that 369 children had been molested. So that bumps up the number there, Shannon, from 48. Her interrogations, however, were less than ideal. Asking a boy about the game Naked Movie Star, which she believed was code for the creation of child pornography, she had the following exchange with the child, who was holding an alligator puppet as a tool to try and elicit repressed memories. Very popular technique in the 90s. We borrowed the following exchange, recorded in court documents from Mary Fisher's article, McMartin, A Case of Dominoes? Question mark?
Gotta get that question mark in there.
Well, I didn't really hear Naked Movie Star a whole lot. I just heard someone yell it from out in the...
Maybe, Mr. Alligator, you peeked in the window one day and saw them playing it, and maybe you could remember and help us.
Well, no, I haven't seen anyone playing Naked Movie Star. I've only heard the song.
What good are you? You must be dumb.
In fact, Naked Movie Star was a rhyme, not a game, that the children used to taunt each other.
What you say is what you are. You're a naked movie star. What you say is what you are. You're a naked movie star. What you say is what you are. You're a naked movie star.
After 7 years, the longest trial in American history ended after 9 weeks of jury deliberation, with Peggy acquitted on all counts.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Ray was retried twice, with hung juries both times, before the prosecution dropped all charges against him. You see, Shannon, where we're going with this?
Yes.
The McMartin trial was a product of a unique period in American history, the era of the Satanic Panic, which lasted from 1980 through the 90s.
Ba-da-da.
In a time before social media...
Moving through.
Let's just see if that happens again. The era of the Satanic Panic, which lasted
Ba-da-da. Was that too
happened
late?
early that time. From 1980 through the 90s.
Ba-da-da.
Yeah, it's lost its thrill.
Satanic
It's lost its appeal for me.
Panic.
Oh, okay, now
Ba-da-da-da-da.
let's getting it back. I like it now.
Yeah.
I like it again.
Back me up.
Nope.
Okay.
In a time before social media, the panic was spread by word of mouth, from parent to parent, local news programs, and nationally syndicated talk shows like Geraldo and Sally Jesse Raphael.
Damn, Sally.
Remember her with the
Jesse.
glasses? You guys remember?
No.
Any of you remember?
Rob, do you know what we were watching in the 90s?
Not
Not that.
I don't.
Barney.
I think I was watching Pokemon.
Oh, that's better than Barney. On these programs, survivors of ritual abuse described giving birth to children who were promptly sacrificed, the murder of homeless indigents, and visits from Satan himself.
Lucky.
But were these claims true, or were they, like the stories told by Johnson and the children of McMartins, a fantasy invented by the mental health professionals who were supposed to be seeking justice? This is the first of a 2-episode series on Satanism.
Ba-da-da. Satanism. Ba-da-da-da-da.
To close out our season on black magic. No? No
Why do
song
you
for
let
that?
me do
It's because she's doing like a little dance, moving her arms.
It's not like you're.
I like
it's not-
it.
is this a
Putting a
cry
lot
for help?
into
Is that
it,
what you're saying?
yeah.
You want us to hold you back?
No, it's all I have.
I know you gotta. We're letting your freak flag fly here.
Thanks.
Today we're talking about how Satanism came to occupy such a powerful cultural presence in the Western world that these daycare rumors could ever be conjured, let alone believed. Which is a mystery, right? Shannon, at first you were thinking, 48 kids, this must be real. But now, nope, all made up. But we bought it. Hook, line, and sinker.
Some people still buy it.
Satanism was in its infancy both a legend and a religion. Weird. In the world of folklore research, legends are defined as stories we believe to be true, in contrast to a myth, which represents a spiritual truth, or a folktale, which nobody believes is true, but is fun to tell. Sort of like Paul Bunyan or Babe and his blue ox.
Oh, hell yeah.
Babe is the blue ox.
But Johnny Appleseed was real.
Sure.
He was.
In the 1980s and 90s, Americans, Mexicans, Canadians, Brits, and other Western Europeans came to believe that there was a vast satanic conspiracy on the loose, threatening to devour children and teenagers through conversion, in the case of teenagers, and ritual sacrifice for those children's. Today, we're going to figure out why.
It's about damn time.
Right. What episode is this?
I don't know, actually.
25 or so? Somewhere in
Probably.
there.
Oh, that's.
It's a long time to wait to figure this out.
I've been waiting for 24 years.
Our audience members have been on the edge of their seats since the first episode.
My name is Rob C. Thompson. I am Doctor of the Occult and Supreme Hierophant of our Secret Order of Alchemical Actors. To my right, we have Olivia Littoral.
It's me, and I'm feeling especially singy today.
We can tell. She is the Grand Master of our Order. To my left, we have our Knight of the Dangling Serpent, Jacob Wheatley.
I'm back.
And he's dangling more than ever.
Let's not go there. Let's not get into that again.
Oh, okay.
We've already done more than enough of that.
Yeah, I didn't
I
wanna
guess
be called
I've
out.
invited this.
You really did.
You're the one who named me this. Remember that.
I'm having second thoughts. And
Oh, I'm not.
our Instaquisitor is here for the long haul today, Shannon Landers.
Hi.
That's cute.
I'm a little jealous of you're like Dr. Occult. You sound like an evil villain.
He shortened it down this time, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually I say more about myself.
Ooh, can that be a fan art idea? Rob as Dr. Occult, like with a cape and like.
Oh.
How did the last fan art request go?
Oh, we didn't get any.
So let's not
waiting.
like
So
push
let's keep
this.
sending them.
They just need new ideas, okay?
Yeah.
We, the members of the Secret Order of Alchemical Actors, do solemnly commit ourselves to a full and honest telling of the history of the occult as far as we know it. To the business meeting.
Business.
Couple of notes here today. Increasingly, I'm thinking of the business meeting as the time when we respond to our listeners, folks who have joined us on Patreon or had reviews for us on any of our platforms. So far, only iTunes are we getting reviews. I don't think people really review much on the others, but,
No.
you know, swim against the tide. Write that Stitcher or Google Play. You can't review on Google Play.
Comment on our
Never even
Instagram
been.
post. and
Comment
be
on an
like,
Instagram post.
Yeah.
Write 5 stars on it. I'll love it.
Talk to us.
So, yes, we have been racking up some stars, but we haven't had anybody write to us recently on the iTunes. We would love to hear from you all. Brian, with a Y, has joined us on Patreon.
Brian
Because
with a
he's
Y.
cool.
Yeah, he's a cool
Ooh.
guy.
Cool
And
guy
he
inside the
he
Y.
also gave us a nice message of encouragement to keep on keeping on. He's enjoying the podcast, so we appreciate that. And now Olivia,
Why are you laughing at me?
because I kept this a
Dr.
secret
Occult.
from you.
Those
That's
are
my
very
evil
cool.
Dr. Occult laugh. I had
I'm gonna leave.
a message through the website from a listener of ours named Mateo.
Oh no. Is he coming for my brand?
He's coming for you a little bit, yeah. So Mateo had an interesting question for me that I failed to bring up during our Aleister Crowley series, but I feel like in Satanism, it's appropriate.
It's relevant.
Yeah, it's relevant.
Yeah.
It comes up again in many ways. I think you're going to be saying much the same things. So this was Mateo's challenge, I think particularly for you.
Oh, here we go. Mateo.
He says,
Wow.
Mateo.
he says now, and I'm paraphrasing here, a very articulate message Mateo sent us. He said, Aleister Crowley sounds like a sociopath. Why do you admire him so much?
Did he say that specifically at me?
No, he was sort of asking all of us, and I clarified that I had not
admire him.
expressed any personal admiration for Crowley, but rather discussed him as a morally troubling figure. However, you, my dear.
Because isn't there something to be learned from even a sociopath?
I think that is true, yeah.
I feel like I'm not. Let me clarify.
Set the
For a
record straight
second
here.
I am in love with Crowley, don't get me wrong, but I would like to think I'm more so in love with the idea of Crowley and this idea of him as this. He's a symbol. Like, he's a symbol for the occult. He's a symbol for, like, some sort of occult beginnings, especially in the type of faiths that I am into.
Okay, but when it
So-
comes to leaving bodies frozen on the side of mountains...
No. I'm
Okay.
not actually in
All right.
support of that.
There you go, Mateo. And thank
Not-
you for your
yeah.
thoughtful message.
I think it was
We can
more
still
so
be
just
friends.
concerned.
Yeah, he's just concerned for your sanity.
Yeah, he should be probably, but I
That aside.
appreciate your concern, Mateo.
Yeah, and now Olivia, we had a message on our
Why are
little
you
group
keeping
chat.
So many secrets from me.
No, this is from
Oh.
you.
Oh, okay.
Did
Shit.
you not? Now that we've attacked you, did you not hear
Yeah.
from one of our listeners on your own Instagram page? Because Shannon has no Instagram
my-
action.
No, it
But
was
you might
on
be able to
my,
pull this
Shannon's
in.
not
My
getting
Twitter,
any
right?
action.
Shannon's not getting
No.
any Instagram action, but you're
was
you're
my
getting Twitter
Twitter.
action. Yeah,
Yeah,
what
one
went
of our
out there?
fans was on my personal Twitter,
Yeah.
so you can find me. That's fine. And just on Twitter.
I was
Don't
about to say, don't say
don't
that.
find
Leave
me.
that
Do you know the
open-ended.
Twitter handle? Can we give him a shout out? Him or
my
her?
Twitter handle.
No, the Twitter handle for.
Because my Twitter handle's inappropriate.
Oh. Well,
But
this is
everyone that
a
listens could
podcast
guess
for
it.
children. Yes, I've made that clear with the opening.
Well, you could find me personally at
Oh no.
No,
Satanic
it's
Bitch
not for children.
69, but
Satan. What is it?
Satanic Bitch 69 is
That's
my
all right.
Twitter.
That's very
If you
right.
wanna- Are you
Very coy.
serious?
If you want to tweet. Yeah.
Yes.
I think
I don't have a Twitter, so I don't
Satanic
know
Witch
that.
was taken.
It's the subtlety
So
of that I
bitch
love.
Was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't see it. You see my name.
So
It's
witch is
only a
implied.
Short, sweet, and to the point.
Oh, so what
Yeah.
what did our listener have to say to you?
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Sam. Sorry, being handed things. So I had a girl when I was waiting tables one night a 6-year-old tell me she liked my voice, and I'm very insecure about my voice and all of its pitches. So I felt very validated, and one of our followers, well, I'm not sure what his Twitter name exactly is, Orlando Playable Waluigi something. Yes.
Orlando P. Waluigi.
Yep. He replied saying, as an OC listener, can confirm you've got a good voice.
Oh, that
And
was
I
sweet.
wanted
Yeah.
to low-key cry a little bit. So
Okay.
thanks for that. Send me all the good messages.
That's enough business for today. You guys have
Oh.
anything else to add?
I feel like you
Nope.
really, you hit me hard, but then you
I'll let you off
softened
easy.
it.
Yeah, there you go.
It's very
I don't
sweet.
like you keeping things from
wholesome.
me, though.
Business adjourned.
I want like.
There's a
Or like a
gong.
little, like-
There's a
Is there?
gong sound.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys don't listen to the podcast, do you?
My boyfriend doesn't either.
I think you should insert the Law and Order.
At
Neither does my
Ryan.
wife. My wife does not listen to the podcast.
At Katie.
It doesn't matter. They're not listening. They aren't hearing this.
So they won't.
Yeah, you're right.
be offended.
In addition to our primary sources today, we'll be drawing on research by Robert Bromley, Christopher Partridge, and Jeffrey S. Victor. It's worth noting now, which is something we should have been saying all along, that we're more or less in the present day, so we're talking about present day things. All of the voices on Occult Confessions are done by actors. We never say that. I guess you can assume it when we're talking about a medieval knight, but like today...
I never really
So
thought
Right,
about...
it's impossible that we could be like getting clips. We don't get clips. We do get actual primary sources. So all of the voices, unless it's sort of obvious that we've made stuff up for humorous purposes, all of our voices are we just heard the clip of McFarlane and the boy. That really is from the primary source documents. We got it from an article though, and then our occult alchemical actors
We're
perform
called
it.
the alchemical actors, though.
Well, yeah, I think it's understood, but it's worth saying.
No, we
Worth
should.
putting it out
we
there.
should probably say that
For
every
legal
episode,
purposes.
Maybe.
Yeah. Anyway,
Copyright.
so it is the words of these people, but we are performing them ourselves.
That kind of felt businessy, but
Yeah. We ended the business meeting too early.
The business
Premature.
meeting is for our listeners to talk to us and for us to respond,
but I want them to know that
Not
their
for-
pleasure, not just business.
not for
you know?
legalese.
That sounded kind of weird, but
If we You know that whenever you say that, I keep it, right?
Rob, cut that.
Yeah. If we believe the reports of child victims, like those at McMartin's. Oh, we're turning to child victims now. Let's all get serious, please.
Oh, God. Yeah.
If we believe the reports of child victims, like those at McMartin's, as well as satanic cult survivors, tens of thousands of children were sacrificed through the 1980s and into the 1990s. These included missing children taken off the street, children being bred by the cult to be sacrificed, young teenage girls recalled being groomed, often at daycare centers like McMartin's, and then in early puberty, brainwashed into serving as breeding machines. They turned out babies for these cults to sacrifice. According to the Satanic cult legend, the life force of these children, conveyed in part through their blood, passed from their bodies to the bodies of cult members through the ritual sacrifice. In addition to killing, bodies were also sometimes consumed. All right, now,
Just got it all in there.
not saying this is true, but this is the story. Tens of thousands.
That's a lot.
There's a patient zero for these child and teenage victims, and this is a woman by the name of Michelle Smith. She was from Victoria, British Columbia. In the book she co-authored with her therapist Lawrence Pasder, she claimed that she had been introduced into a satanic cult in 1955 when she was just 5 years old. Do you know this story?
No, but I feel like you shouldn't be writing a book with your therapist.
Oh, no. Not just therapist. Husband. She said that her mother, Virginia, who had died in 1963, long before the book came out in 1980, and long after she could dispute any of her daughter's claims, was a practicing Satanist who forced her daughter into the cult. Michelle went to Dr. Pasder in 1976 after her third miscarriage when she had a dream of spiders spilling out of a scratch in her arm. Terrifying. Working with Pasder, she recovered lost memories of being poisoned, placed in a cage covered in snakes, and seeing kittens slaughtered. No?
They could be just planting that in your head. Your therapist? Are you kidding me?
False memory is a pretty common phenomena, yes.
That's-
And it begins really in the 90s. But
Fake
this
news.
is an early form of false memory. By the 90s, we were doing it all the time. Everyone was molested. Satan appeared. They weren't. Everyone was not molested. Hot take.
You heard it here.
Satan appeared to her, Michelle, through the flames of a ritual fire, and the cult attached horns to her skull and a tail to her backside to make her look more like one of his minions.
I want to find that plastic surgeon.
And I think it might have just been like a.
Oh, I was about to say, you can actually get that done. You can have.
Oh, no,
hands
no, no.
done.
I don't want those freaky
I feel like it's just like
under the
a,
skin things.
like
I
a
want
little
them
costume
out.
piece.
Yeah. Well, there's some that actually come out.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I got some research to do.
I can.
What
give
would
you
you
the
use for
name.
the tail, though?
A real one?
From
If they
what
take
animal?
people's old arms and can put them on a new body and reuse them, can't they do it with a tail?
But
What?
which tail
Yeah.
would you use?
What animal are we talking about?
A cow
Ooh.
tail.
Cowtail.
Donkey tail?
Donkey. Why does
Is
it have
that
to be
long
an
enough?
ungulate?
I kind of want it to be like, I want it to like move a little bit.
Oh, have
you know?
A monkey tail?
Monkey tail.
Monkey tail!
That'd be more in
I
the.
could be like a
more in the
frickin'
family.
Saiyan. What's Dragon Ball? Anyway, let's do this podcast.
Nerd stuff. Michelle's. What?
A
What?
nerd stuff like section on the podcast.
I'm
have
sorry,
This
I
is
just
your
like
official
have our
nerd
business
segment.
when we talk about Instagram, then we talk about nerd stuff.
Get all the
and then
nerd
in our
stuff out.
section where we're apologizing for the offensive things we say.
I didn't think it was gonna be drawn out that long. I'm sorry.
The apologies have to come at the end, though.
Oh yeah.
The next episode when
Next
we realize
episode.
that we actually
This is our apology episode.
Michelle's father disputed most of her claims. He said his wife had taken Michelle and their other daughter to church regularly, where all of them had been confirmed.
Oh, okay then.
He still got the Satan tail?
And as for the
No one's
poisoning,
safe.
She was treated for poisoning, but it had nothing to do with devil worship. Once she drank terps and paint mixture while I was cleaning my brushes. Another time she ate shoe polish.
What's terps?
as turpentine, is your
Oh.
he's Canadian, so I guess
Canadian
that's
slang?
what the Canadian that's Canadian slang there. You can
I
use
want to
that.
hear one of
Oh,
our Canadian
terps.
fans say it though.
What, how do you say it? Terps?
Yeah, but I want to hear it in a
Terps.
Canadian
Terps.
accent.
For turpentine. I don't think
We're
this is a
hip.
very useful piece of slang. I don't think you talk about turpentine very often.
You gotta
I'm
get
gonna
creative
start
with it,
now
okay?
that I know.
Bring up turpentine in casual conversation.
Yeah, I'll bring it up in like 2 minutes during.
Yeah, I want to be hip with the Canadians.
Yeah.
See, I can imagine if you drank shoe polish a lot, you might start thinking that you were a part of some ritual.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think
Can
this
confirm.
is starting to all link up for us.
Yeah.
If you smell it enough, you're probably gonna start seeing Satan everywhere.
That reminds me, I need to stop that.
Yeah.
Pastor coined the phrase ritual abuse and went on to become a leading expert on cases of satanic conspiracy, testifying in a variety of court cases, but most famously in the McMartin case. Ooh, linking it all together. But Pastor's relationship with Michelle was not strictly professional, as I alluded to.
See, that's where they get you.
And this, along with so many other details of her story, throws doubt on her recovered memories. From 1977 to 1979, while married to his first wife, Marilyn, and seeing Michelle as a patient, Dr. Pastor would disappear with Michelle for long stretches of time. Then in 1979, he divorced his wife and married his former patient, Michelle Smith. Not an especially professional move.
No, it's not a good,
Pastor. The cover-up of these various cases of abuse and murder amounts to a far-reaching conspiracy, and they are not easily exposed or prosecuted because the child victims are less likely to be believed, or are frightened into keeping the secret, so goes the story. Or their reports are suppressed by law enforcement officials who are also members of the cult. But, as Bromley points out, Satanists are quintessentially evil. They kill in cold blood, not out of any passion or commitment. They desecrate graves. They greedily seek to enhance their own lives by literally consuming the lives of others. They violate children, the most innocent members of our society, with every conceivable form of depravity. And they forcibly breed rather than lovingly sex their women. Women deserve to be lovingly sexed, Olivia.
Yes, they do.
It's so funny
Yes,
because
Jacob.
it's,
Even Jacob believes that women deserve to be lovingly
it's
sexed.
not. It's the opposite. That's. Ugh.
They convert teenagers, tempting them to sacrifice themselves or others in the name of self-empowerment.
Not the teenagers.
Yeah, not the youth.
Not the youth.
Oh, so you know how they have those commercials about like stopping teenagers from smoking cigarettes? It's
Yeah.
like, don't smoke. They should have commercials about joining satanic cults.
Yeah, don't
Stop your
if you want to
Satanism.
really protect the youth,
stop breeding for Satan.
we got
Sex your women lovingly.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's sexual
Please.
You can make a
lovingly.
PowerPoint, needs to
And
be on
your
the
men.
commercials, broadcasted on the high school announcements.
Your principal starts speaking. Stop your Satanism.
We
today,
need a
kids.
mascot.
Okay, we can do this. Brought to you by Occult Confessions.
Yes,
We'll go
yes.
into the schools. We'll
Would the
get this
mascot
message
just
out.
be Satan?
Yes, a big like a
Is
red
that
cheesy
contradictory?
Satan.
I want to
Going
cover
around.
each of these points one by one, though. Stop killing in cold blood. Stop desecrating graves.
Yeah.
And sex your women lovingly.
Yes.
Specific. Well,
I don't think you can
exclusively.
ask teenagers to have sex lovingly.
Well, they should at least try.
We should.
No, they
teach them.
should.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
That's
but they
why
don't
we need
teach
these
that in health
commercials.
class.
We
Okay.
might have a lot of teenagers listening, Olivia. I have faith in your ability to sex each other lovingly.
Listen. No, I shouldn't do this.
And by you, I mean everyone over the age of 18.
Stay protected. And from Satan.
Speaking of teenagers and their damn dicking around,
Hey, what are you kids doing down in that basement? Stop all that dicking around and get your maths done.
hey, listen to your mother.
Aww.
Sounded just like her.
Does it sound just like your mother then?
Oh.
That brought me back to my childhood, honestly.
Yeah, all that dicking around. It's true that teenagers had actually started to perform strange rituals in dark cemeteries.
Don't they still do that though?
What
And
else are
deep
they
in the
gonna
woods.
do?
Right, you gotta pass the time, especially out here on Maryland's eastern shore.
I'd have no good memories around here.
Yeah,
You know.
that's what a group of us used at the church that I used to go to when I was a youngin'. We would go to the cemetery across the street
Yeah.
and start doing our own rituals.
Your
while they
dark
were-
rituals?
Yeah, while
Yeah.
they were doing Jesus.
Naked.
Yeah.
But they weren't doing these rituals on behalf of a vast, secretive, child-sacrificing adult conspiracy. This is the myth. They were actually doing them as part of what are called legend trips.
What's a legend trip?
You guys are a little choreographed today. Did you prepare this
We had like
stuff?
4 takes.
Oh. Don't tell the listeners.
Don't call us out like that.
I like being honest with our listeners, okay?
You only had 2 takes. You're still lying.
Yeah.
Legend trips are a cross between folklore and a game of truth or dare.
Oh, like Bloody Mary?
Yeah. But the truth option's taken off the menu. It's all dare.
Oh.
It's become
So-
part of our culture to seek out, because truth, you could just be like, have you ever kissed a boy?
So it's
Yes.
still like Bloody Mary.
Oh, were we not?
We weren't really playing,
Sorry,
Jacob.
sorry.
But
Now we
Bloody
know.
Mary is a dare, right? I dare you
Yeah.
to Bloody Mary your mirrors.
Yeah, that's definitely a dare.
Yeah.
So it's
I
just
dare you
dare
to
and
drink
dare.
a Bloody Mary
Well,
after 10 a.m.
have you ever done
Oh, I
Bloody
do
Mary?
that before. Oh.
It's become part of our culture to seek out haunted places and try and spend the night there. I did that one, stiff as a board, flat as a ghost, whatever that is.
Yeah,
How's that go? Light as a feather, stiff as a board, flat as a pancake.
Oh,
that's
I don't know.
flat-
It's an
flapjack.
actual. That's
Flat
an
as a flapjack.
actual
Flat as
like
a-
phrase from Wicca.
Yeah.
That people
Stiff
took.
as
Is
a
it
board,
really?
light as a feather,
It's
something
just-
and something. What's the last one?
I don't remember.
I
I don't think
mess
it's
with that
pancakes,
stuff.
but
Like,
I want it to be.
Dangly as a serpent.
I avoided all spooky things growing up.
You never did like Bloody Mary even.
I was terrified. I remember like one of my like high school boyfriends, like he like I like locked me in the bathroom. He said like Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, and, like locked me in there. I was like, no.
Oh, he can't say it though. Then it won't work. You
Oh.
gotta do it.
So he,
I
how
didn't
did that
know that.
work? So he did it in the bathroom, ran out, and then shoved you into it?
no, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait,
Yeah, that
is there-
doesn't work.
Is there like a cool down period in between like?
No, she
when
probably
she
came out of
comes
the
and
mirror
then-
and was confused. She's like,
like,
where'd they go? I'm
Where
like,
is everyone?
These silly youths, they get me every time.
I like the thought that it's Mary Tudor,
So
it's,
do
uh,
I so much.
the sister of Elizabeth I, who
Why do you
emerges
think
from
I
the
did
mirror
Bloody Mary?
looking for Protestants.
Or it's just a random
I'm
Mary.
gonna
murder.
get ya.
They just find someone named Mary and like it's a new person.
Art thou
Try.
Protestant?
She just
Shannon's
asked you
like,
the
I
last
don't
time
know.
you-
I don't.
I was like, I don't know. You're
Shannon's
freaking
like,
When was
out.
the last time you went to church?
I was like, oh
Still
no,
use
this
that
is
as a
scary.
term.
He's like, all right, you're okay then.
Is there a copy of the Bible in your bedside
Where
drawer?
art thou, Bible?
In a 1 mile radius from you. It's a wide radius.
This is wild.
Okay. So it's become part of our culture to seek out haunted places and try and spend the night there. We've made television shows, movies, and podcasts about it. And that brings us to today's brief history. Let's bring Ray over to the circle.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you. All right. So, a brief history of legend trips. Legend tripping was not new in the 1980s. Adolescents had been seeking out experiences with the paranormal to show off their courage, offend their parents, and maybe even have some sexy times for generations.
Yeah, you get together
Oh,
with
I did
your
all 3.
with your special friend.
All 3?
Yeah.
After,
Really?
right, when the church is going on, you bring your special friend to the cemetery, and it's spooky and scary, and
Yeah.
apparently you're naked, Olivia.
Well, were you really a teenager if you didn't have sex in a graveyard? I'm saying that, and I realized how bad that sounded.
Wait, is this like exclusively like a teenager thing? Because I did
Or is
this
this
when
a-
I
No,
was
no,
like,
no, no, no.
like
Or is this a you
child.
thing about having sex in a graveyard?
Gross.
Well, now I'm starting to second guess myself.
I didn't do the
but-
naked thing until I was a teenager, though. If that makes it better.
Yeah.
I feel like that's impractical. I feel like it'd be pretty cold.
Oh no, it's not. It's not. It's for the aesthetic.
I do
Oh,
it to feel
for Instagram?
alive.
Well, you guys are from like a rural area. We just parked on the side of the road in Jersey.
No. This was for fun. That's the point.
You had sex in a
Side of the
cemetery for
road,
fun.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like those-
Because
you
the
could
dead
get
people
caught.
can't do it. You're
well,
rubbing it
because
in their
the
face.
cornfields aren't as fun to go do these things.
Oh, the
It's
cornfield sounds like a
spooky.
painful place to do this.
Well, it was.
Well,
That's why
especially
we
if there's
moved to the
corn there,
cemetery.
Rob.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
cemetery's more clear.
Carry on, Ray.
But its presence in popular media came into focus starting in the 1980s and culminating with the Blair Witch Project, the story of some teenagers who go out into the woods to encounter the titular witch in 1999.
Yeah, see, now that's
happened in
me
our
in high
state.
school. We're Blair Witch
Sure.
people.
What?
It
You're a
happened in
Blair Witch
Maryland.
person,
You weren't the
Rob.
Blair Witch?
My mom was
I'm the Blair
scared.
Witch, and it happened here in
I
Maryland.
think just because it makes you motion sick.
That makes sense because you live here.
What was the first
Yeah,
like?
you're the Blair Witch.
It was the beginning of a
Style.
whole genre of documentary, whatever. What do you call that? What's that called? Is there a name for that?
Yeah.
Found
Documentary.
footage film.
Yes,
Found
found
footage.
footage. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Close.
Spooky documentary.
Television shows like Ghost Hunters have made legend tripping into a professional pursuit. It's impossible to cover all the legends that have ever led to trips. There are hundreds, if not thousands, in the US alone. But we'll highlight a couple that show how morbid curiosity about Satan has driven teenagers into cemeteries and dark corners of the woods on the evilest of nights.
Yeah, because it's
Hell.
sexy fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just aesthetic.
All right. I guess you're.
You
It's
don't
a
know
mood.
who's gonna come into the cemetery and think you're robbing graves and try to kick you out.
And then they're like, "Oh, you're having sexy times. I apologize."
Oh no, you gotta run.
I
You get caught, you
I
run.
would immediately think that you're having sex. I don't think I would ever assume that you're robbing graves.
Well, when a guy comes up, it doesn't matter. You gotta run. You see the flashlight, you run.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Gotta pull your pants up
Whether-
and go.
No, you just run.
you gotta
leave your
leave that
pants
behind.
there.
No, you wear a dress if you're a lady, and you get up and you
That's why
run.
we
Hey,
stayed in the
you
car
can
in
still
Jersey.
wear
Just
a
put
dress if
down
you're a
turn
man.
the
Oh, no,
key,
you're
put
right.
the pedal down.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Tell us our
Yes.
first legend tripping story, please, Ray.
All right. The Stull Cemetery outside of Lawrence, Kansas became a destination after a local school newspaper published a report that it was the location of one of 7 gateways to hell, and the devil appeared there every Halloween and on the spring equinox.
It's weird that he saves the time to visit that one place for
Yeah.
Halloween.
Right,
I
yeah.
love that he
The other
also-
6 are not cool.
Just the
I
one.
love
Just
that
the
it's
one.
also the spring equinox. Like,
Yeah.
that seems like a random time for Satan to come
Actually,
and show up.
Well, it makes sense and it doesn't make sense, but
He goes to the Mall of America on Christmas.
aww.
Like Santa.
He's Santa.
He probably
Think
gets
about the
up in
letters.
there.
Think about the letters.
Oh, my
Satan.
Are they brothers?
The original Abel and Cain.
Oh, wait, who killed who?
All right, we gotta get through this, Ray, or we're gonna be here all day doing these legend trips.
Okay. One version of the legend not featured in the paper said that his infant son was buried there.
Yeah, Satan had a son, apparently.
Oh, hell no.
Well, God got one.
So
Yeah.
why can't he?
Satan doesn't want one.
The Antichrist. An article published in 2004 claimed that the devil had never appeared at the cemetery, but strange sounds, werewolves, and mysterious fires had surfaced.
Also cool.
Yeah.
Werewolves are pretty cool.
The legend has since grown to include that the Pope redirected his plane in 1995 to avoid flying over Stull, and Robert Smith and The Cure refused to play in Kansas because of the Stull Cemetery.
Robert Smith knows what's what of the other
Cure.
world. Yeah.
The Cure.
The Cure is on top of things paranormal.
Yeah, no spooky business.
Yeah.
For Cure.
Yeah, they're not messing around with Satan.
500 people showed the first year after the article was published, but the devil never came.
Right. Nor did the
Darn.
Cure.
He never did.
Right.
Frustrated teenagers failing to see the devil started vandalizing the cemetery, which led to rumors of satanic desecrations.
Well, they shouldn't do that.
Yeah, that was mean. Next one.
In Chatham County?
Chatham County,
Chatham County?
I would imagine.
Okay. In Chatham County, North Carolina, sits a barren patch of land where nothing will grow.
Oh, I know this one.
It's known as the Devil's Tramping Ground.
He goes there on Easter.
Tramps around.
He
Camps
just does
around.
a little tap
Just in a
dance.
square.
He does jazz squares just in this one area.
He's got all his holidays. 4th of July, he's in Canada.
There's a lot of vacation houses.
He's in Canada.
He stays away from America.
Yeah,
Canada's
he
very
steers clear.
popular to
Doesn't
this.
want to hit with a firework.
Canada's popular.
Dangerous.
The legend goes that the devil emerges walking in circles on that particular patch of earth, unleashing all kinds of evils on the world. His tramping kills any plants that might otherwise grow there. Another legend about the same spot tells of a battle between rival tribes of American Indians, that the blood of the dead made the spot uninhabitable for any life forms.
Yeah, because of the bitterness.
That's kind of more metal,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, that is really metal.
Bree?
Bree's here.
What is that faint metal
Oh
sound?
my gosh.
In the distance.
I hear her.
Hello?
Her spirit's with us.
Can you hear us?
She's astrally projected the metal sound.
Wow. Truly magical.
More recently, the explanation has turned to a UFO which radiated the soil, rendering it barren. Any object left on the spot mysteriously disappeared, and to sleep on the spot would drive a person insane. Drawn by these stories, teenagers have frequently used the spot to party. This, like the cemetery vandalism, could easily be interpreted as secret gatherings in the woods at a satanic site to conduct dark rites. And that's a brief history of legend trips.
Very nice.
Oh, nice.
Did you guys ever go on any trips? Any legend tripping?
We used to go ghost hunting with friends all the time, but I feel like that's something a lot of people do.
Where you
around
been?
Here. You just like it doesn't even. Here's the thing: when you're like really young, it's just like you walking around the woods at night and going to abandoned houses and thinking
Yeah.
there's.
How young
ghosts
are we
there.
talking?
2.
2.
Straight out the womb.
Put some diapers in the bag and was out.
I don't know if
My baby is currently wandering the woods looking for spirits.
She definitely
Of course,
is.
it's your child, bro.
Right, not crawling yet. She's wheeled herself out there.
Yeah, she's got me on speed
Army
dial
crawling
in case
through
she
the woods.
yeah.
needs some
Well,
advice.
there's like a
She's using her
few-
stroller as a wheelchair.
There's a few places that like a
Suicide
group
Bridge.
of Suicide Bridge we would
Bridge
go
is big.
to. The Hanging Tree. There's the Hole in the Wall.
So
which-
all suicide-related places.
It's a lot
Places
of
where people would have
suicide.
jumped off of bridges. The Hanging Tree, is that a lynching or is that
It was
Yeah.
a lynching site? Yeah.
Because it's just one of those things that if you're there and you do whatever it is that they will.
You like
appear.
drive up to the tree or something, and I don't remember.
I think you have to drive under. Well, that's
There's
the
like
thing.
so many legends
And there's
that you
like,
hear.
and there's different ways that people say to do them
Yeah.
too. So
Like Suicide Bridge has a bunch of things. I've heard that you have to actually like go on the bridge. Some
Mm-hmm.
people say you just go up to the bridge and you can see like a woman jumping off. I think it is. Or something.
So if you imagine all these
I've heard
kids
it's if you
wandering
stand
around the
under
shore,
bridge or
like you're gonna
something.
think that something's up.
yeah,
You're
I
like,
mean, you
hey.
guys are trying to conjure ghosts on bridges and under trees.
So in a way, they weren't wrong.
Yeah.
It's like the Goatman Bridge or whatever,
Yeah,
where they
yeah.
say the Goatman Satan like.
College Park, they got like a rabbit man.
Really?
What?
A rabbit
Yeah.
man?
Okay.
Not even a turtle? I guess that's not very scary.
Turtle Man.
But why
No,
is the
it
rabbit
is
so
Turtle Man.
scary?
I don't know that it is.
I think it's. Have you never seen Donnie Darko?
Oh, true.
Ugh, I hate that movie.
Okay, let's get back to it.
Hot take.
I like that movie.
What does hot take mean? What is that?
I don't know. I just
It's
started
when
saying it 'cause
you're
Ross.
when you're mad about something, a controversial opinion.
Ooh,
It was a
hot
hot
take.
take.
Hot take.
Just-
Okay. I'm gonna start using it. Along
Fun.
with,
Now you now we're not
tarps.
now we're not gonna hear the end of it.
No.
Everyone's gonna start saying
Tarps.
it.
Hot take.
Turpentine, hot
Turp.
take.
Did you say
Because you're
tarps?
removing the paint. We like that color.
I just wanted to say both of those words, so I combined them. Hot take.
Good job. Satanism had a kind of popular appeal for rebellious kids, especially in the 80s and 90s. It upset the adult world, who had been the hippies, in a way akin to what the hippies had done to their parents. My dad just barely missed going to Woodstock.
That's a shame.
Really?
He was missing
Yeah,
out.
yeah. He told me this story as a guy looked like Jesus was going to take him. And then his,
Was it Jesus?
then his
And he
parents
turned
wouldn't let him
down
go.
Jesus?
I think
He
everybody
didn't
looked a little bit
go?
like Jesus, though,
During Woodstock,
in the
everyone.
60s. Yeah, the late 60s.
I mean,
So, the bright tie-dye and love-ins of the 60s were replaced by dark t-shirts and screaming heavy metal.
hell yeah.
Some teenagers... See, Olivia, you and I are not exactly the same age, but we're sort of the same generation where this
We-
was the rebellious thing to do.
Because I think I'm still stuck there.
You're stuck in the 90s, yeah.
So, yeah.
And I graduated in the 2000s.
Yeah.
Here we are. The
We're
bright...
an adult podcast.
Some teenagers, aping what they heard Ozzy Osbourne singing about or saw in a horror movie, only played at Satanism because they knew it upset their parents and the wider social fabric of adults they represented.
If you look at, like, we were talking about West Memphis 3 on the Patreon.
Right.
It was the same deal.
Right, he was intentionally antagonizing the police with his claims of child sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Came back to bite him. These people took Satanism seriously, and that's what made it so much fun to emulate. So the adult group is taking Satanism seriously, and like they're making all these talk shows about it. So you're like, "Ha, Mom, I'm a Satanist. Ha! What are you gonna do now?"
Yeah, Mom.
And she doesn't ask any follow-up questions. She's not like, "Well, what does that entail?" She's just like, "Ah, damn you and your rebellion."
Not Satan.
Not Satan.
Yeah.
Because if she asked you, you would be like, "I don't know. I sit on bridges sometimes and wait for ghosts."
And
And
that's when you say, "Mom, it's not for you to
yeah,
understand."
you don't get it.
I
You don't
touched
get
the
it,
Ouija
Mom.
board.
So, but all this leads to this like belief that there's just Satanism everywhere, and there isn't. There really isn't. As far as the McMartin daycare and the so-called breeders led by Michelle Smith, there was no secret, far-reaching satanic conspiracy pulling their strings. It was just kids, man.
Kids being kids.
Kids being kids,
youth.
pissing off their parents, each in their own way, in the most efficient way that they could. In 1989, 80% of everyone in Texas believed Satanism was on the rise. 80% of Texas.
Of course, Texas.
I kind of
would.
want to name a play, Everyone in Texas Believes Satan was on the rise.
Long title.
Yes.
Border crossings actually slowed down, though, on the belief that Satanists were hard at work in the Lone Star State. So Mexicans were saying, we were gonna sneak into Texas, but we heard about all that Satanism. So we're staying here with the drug cartels.
Instead of building a wall, he could just start saying Satanism is happening.
Right.
At
Just
our
put a
border.
bunch of Satanists on
They're
the
like,
border.
We have got to hope Trump does not hear this podcast.
Satanists hate Trump, so it's not.
Yeah, okay, good. Well, so that'll be weird
think
when he
that's-
starts using them to keep the Mexicans out.
Oh no, they would have to like, if he
It's not
paid
even
them
really the
enough.
Mexicans anymore. It's Central
Yeah.
Americans. Anyway, we love Central Americans and Mexicans.
We do.
Yeah, and Texans for the most part.
Yeah.
Maybe not Rick Perry. Over 100
Hot
criminal. Over 100 criminal investigations into satanic ritual abuse were started between 1983 and 1988, and U.S. senators like Jesse Helms attempted to pass legislation to control the outbreak of satanic groups and activities. But for all that, there's simply no evidence that any of it even existed.
No, that's right.
Way to go, United States Senate. Well, quote from Bromley himself on the question of evidence. I'll quote from him. No organizational apparatus, correspondence, membership lists, phone logs, travel records, bank accounts, buildings or meeting places, ritual implements, crematoriums, filming equipment, pornographic films that are alleged to have been produced have ever been found.
Yes, yes, yes.
Reports hold that roughly 50,000 children are sacrificed a year.
That's a lot of...
But only a few hundred are even abducted by strangers. Still terrifying as a parent, let me tell you. Or as a former child. But much less than 50,000. What?
I can't relate.
Can't relate. Shannon can't relate. She was neither a former child nor is she a parent.
You've never
Yes.
been a
Yes,
child?
she's been this age. Stories came out like this, and stories by breeders published in a series of national bestsellers were consistently found out to be false and actually withdrawn by their publishers in embarrassment.
Well, that's good.
So the Satanic Panic really caught the nation's imagination, right?
Mm-hmm.
But turns out to be fake news.
Hollywood didn't help.
No, well, no. Never. It never does,
Yeah,
really.
let's say this-
Always
It's
makes it
still,
worse.
It's still a problem in Hollywood. You see Satan. I'm not gonna get up.
You
on
see
that.
Satan on every corner.
He's
No,
just...
yes.
That's where he spends most of his time, except
In
Christmas,
Hollywood?
Halloween, and Easter.
Yes.
Where he has other places to be.
Go to the Hollywood sign,
Maybe
he's behind
Vegas.
the-
I
Exactly,
feel
behind the
Satan would
Hollywood
be a
sign.
fan of Vegas.
Whenever something like a panic surfaces, there's always some underlying social stresses giving birth to the monsters haunting our collective nightmares. I talked about this a bit in our Lady Magic series in the episode on pagans and witches. The way we see the world ending is connected to the aspects of our lives that are undergoing the most dramatic change. In his book on the Satanic Panic, Jeffrey Victor sees broad changes in the Western family structure brought about by the cultural and sexual revolution of the 60s. Hippies, you did it again. Good job. Changes in gender roles, right? Mom is now going off to work. Rises in divorce rates. Less children living with both parents. And increasing economic stresses on working and middle-class families requiring both parents to work. Katie and I both have to work to pay our mortgage. And both parents working longer hours. Here I am, late into the night with you all podcasting.
Your daughter's thinking, where is he? And you're talking
Wandering
about
the
Satan.
woods. She's off.
Wandering the woods, right?
She's on
Doing
some
her
legend
satanic
trips right
business.
now.
She's going to have her own cult by the time you get home.
Yeah, she's not worried where Rob is.
Poor Corinne. All these horrible stories we're telling about her, and she can't even speak English yet. Led to a kind of, she can say ba and de.
Oh.
Gosh, she's getting those
That's all I
consonants
need
in.
to get
Halfway
Satan.
there.
Halfway.
You know, that's half the battle.
Half the battle is ga, ba, and da.
Yeah.
Most words are formed that way.
I still have trouble with
Like
that.
badaga.
Yeah, dog gets me.
Oh my gosh.
Both, so, anyway, this led to a broad-based disintegration or change of the traditional family. Doesn't mean that, we're doing worse without a traditional family, just that we're now doing differently. While many have come to embrace what we now call alternative families, this is more of a 21st century phenomenon, right?
Well, if it starts shifting, would that become the new traditional family then?
At this point, I think we do have what is a new traditional family, but in the 80s and the 90s, these changes were viewed as aberrations. So we were rapidly losing the traditional structure and continuing to feel like a two-parent home was the ideal situation to raise a child. So if you were a kid in a house with divorced parents, you felt like you were in a messed up situation. Even if your parents were both supportive and loving, you felt like society was telling you that you needed to feel badly about it. This perceived separation between the ideal and the real has made Westerners feel like they are in a morally fragile environment. So all of us then, because we know that divorce is on the rise, are starting to feel like, uh-oh, we're going to hell in a handbasket. Or the hell is coming to us in a handbasket.
That's such a nice way to. If I was going to go to hell, I like to go to hell in a handbasket.
That's the best thing you've ever said on this podcast.
Duly noted.
Girl, I got you.
Yes, if Olivia's
good
ever
word.
asked, when Olivia...
No, when I take my motorcycle down with me, like, I'm gonna ride into hell, I'm gonna,
I'll
like,
be in your
throw you
handbasket.
a rope, and then you're gonna grab it, and you're gonna get in your basket, and you're gonna, like, jump in my basket, and I'm just gonna ride you down to hell.
Can it be decorated? Can I
Yeah.
decorate it first before I go in the basket?
Yeah, just make sure it's aesthetic appropriate.
Okay, you're right.
Jacob and I will wave from our heaven baskets.
Yeah.
Above.
Have fun having boring times in heaven.
A basket's a basket, all right? You're not better than
Can
me.
this be like?
Probably in honesty, Jacob, we're going to be in limbo baskets.
Yeah, I've done enough that I'm just gonna end up
Yeah,
in
it's
limbo.
totally
You can always
limbo.
come
I'm
down
riding
hell
that
with
line at
us.
this point.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay in
can
The
get
limbo.
a big enough
perceived
basket.
Satanism, what am I trying to say here? Satanism is a product of the impression that society's going to hell. So all these teenagers are turning to Satanism, and the Satanists are eating our kids because we're not looking after them well enough. It's sort of like a guilt trip.
Maybe you should have a better grip on your kids.
Well, I mean, you feel bad because you got divorced, or like you're working late,
Yeah,
and you're
I
like,
know.
oh, I'm not doing right by my kids here. So they're
yeah.
that's why they're Satanists. The kids aren't Satanists, but your guilt trip has caused you to believe that they must be. So stop
blame
guilting me about my baby.
Don't worry, she may not end up as a Satanist.
Okay.
She's an independent.
She could end up in.
She'll be in a heaven basket.
Thank you. We can blame Satanism for corrupting our social fabric, our families, our teenagers, our children, so that we don't have to bear the blame ourselves. It's not my divorce that screwed up my kid, it's all the Satanism and their heavy rock music and those damn Dungeony Dragon games.
That's
Hey,
good
You just
parenting.
had to
Okay,
throw
that
that
was
on
weird.
in there, didn't you?
It's
Yeah,
a quality
yeah.
game, all right?
What's that again, Dad? What are we doing in the basement?
Stop all that dicking around.
Thanks, Dad.
My pleasure.
I thought it was Mom. What happened?
Mom, Dad.
She can be both. They can be
You're right.
both.
It's the 21st century.
It's not
Yeah,
a
get out of that
We have a
traditional
non-traditional
You're
dad.
right, I'm sorry.
Mindset.
I
Shannon.
made this mistake.
non-binary dad.
All right, although the conspiracy is totally made up, Satanism is not actually a figment of our collective imagination, is it, Olivia?
Nope, it's not, bitch.
It
Oh,
ma-
that was aggressive. Sorry.
I'm bitch.
No, I say that like bitch is loving.
Is it?
Yes,
Term of
bitch.
endearment.
Yeah. Jacob
see-
gets it.
you're like, oh,
That's my bitch.
Well, she was talking to you then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It may be that Satanism, the way it was described by the children at McMartin's or the teenage breeders, was made up. But there were and are real Satanists. And in the 80s and the 90s, they were helping to contribute to the dread more conservative Americans were feeling about the dissolution of traditional society. The most satanic threat to the social order was Anton LaVey's Church of Satan.
The man, the legend.
18 years before the McMartin case surfaced on the 30th of April 1966, LaVey ritualistically shaved his head and proclaimed the formation of the Church of Satan. LaVey was born in Chicago 36 years earlier. His grandparents had immigrated from Russia, and his father was a liquor salesman. LaVey made a series of it's just crossing my mind now that I am reaching an age where I should probably found a church.
I think you kind
Aren't
of
we
are.
starting?
Oh, I guess here I am.
Yeah.
Good.
It's a cult.
I feel better.
Esoteric church.
So I'm on top of it.
Esoteric church.
I'm doing my duty.
Yeah.
LaVey made a series of claims about his biography, most of which were made up. Oh, I need to do that, though. He said that at the age of 16, he quit school to join a traveling circus and carnival, playing the calliope and working as a cage boy.
What's
I've heard
that?
that
What's a
one.
calliope?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask what a cage boy is.
Oh,
No, she wants to know what the calliope is. She's good on cage boy.
She knows a cage
She has a good
boy.
picture of that.
I'm a cage boy.
Oh.
A calliope is like an organ. It's like a circus organ.
Oh. A circus organ.
And the cage boy did his thing in an act with lions and tigers. Playing the organ or piano in bars and lounges, he claimed that he met Marilyn Monroe and that they had an affair.
Of course.
Everyone does.
Then he worked as a photographer for the San Francisco. Have an affair with Anton LaVey?
Yeah.
Then he worked as a photographer for the San Francisco Police Department and a psychic investigator on 800 separate cases.
Heard that one too.
Everything after the part when I mentioned that his dad worked at a liquor store is probably completely made up. The circus, Marilyn Monroe, and the psychic work. What he was really doing in this time period, he was in San Francisco conducting paranormal investigations and leading musical performances, attracting the notice of movie directors and fiction writers.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cool too. Why
That's
didn't he just go
goals.
with that?
That's my goal.
Because he was doing something bigger, Rob.
And these evolved into his first satanic rituals, which he performed with the Order of the Trapezoid.
Oh, why can't we be a shape? Why can't we be the order of a rhombus?
Of the rhombus.
Order of rhombus.
Why are they all
The
four-sided?
hexagon.
No, I just first shape that came to my mind.
Was a rhombus.
Rhombus.
When you think
he
shape,
touched trapezoid already, so what else could I
you
go
wanted
with?
the
Order of the
trapezoid, you'll
octagon?
take the rhombus. Ooh.
Ooh.
We have to come up with 8 things, though.
Should I come up with my own cult?
Feels like a lot of
Order
work.
of the triangle.
Are you
it
leaving
simple.
my cult?
No.
Okay,
I
good.
can't- I don't want to be in
It's
this
the
many
bu-
It's on the
cults.
download. Download.
You
Download.
are.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we've been talking about your splinter organization for a long time here. I'm beginning to get the hint.
I'm just. There's a hair on this mic. Did you notice that?
That's what. Oh, sorry.
be a-
She's
One-
distracting from
one
the
person
issue.
that commented on your Twitter.
Coming soon, Olivia's own podcast.
He's one of your
Orlando,
followers.
don't tell them. Don't tell them, Orlando. Don't you dare do it. Don't do it.
As the Black Pope of his own organization, LaVey declared that a new age of Satan was dawning. He garnered popular attention with the release of a recording of his daughter Zena's satanic baptism and a dedication to the left-hand path, and a reading of his own satanic Bible.
Sorry.
Jacob just looked at his hands as if
Well,
remembering which one was left would help him understand this better.
you joke about it, but it did. It really did.
Ah, the left hand.
I see.
More
Yes.
devious of the hands.
The publication of the Satanic Bible solidified his role as the founder of a distinct religious group. He served as a consultant for Roman Polanski on the film Rosemary's Baby and attracted celebrities like, true story, Sammy Davis Jr., Christopher Lee, Jane Mansfield, and Kim Novak.
That's because it makes sense, man.
Okay.
But what about Roundhouse Kick guy? What's his
Chuck
name?
Norris? Chuck Norris was not involved. Chuck Norris has no association with
started
Satanism
again.
whatsoever. I cannot make this clear enough. All-American hero. If anything, he's associated with the various Eastern martial arts traditions of Buddhism and perhaps Taoism, maybe.
He's a noble man.
I
Rob,
picture
we get
you
it.
at home dressing up as Chuck
As Chuck
Norris and
Norris?
just practicing.
There's
your
so many ways
roundhouse
to do
kicks.
that, though. You could be Walker, Texas Ranger. You could be martial arts Chuck
The
Norris.
fact
It
that
is-
You
you
just
can
gotta,
just recall all of this.
'Cause
and
there's
it-
so
it's-
So
many
you
Chuck
could be
Norrises.
Chuck Norris as Satan?
No, you can't be that.
Doing
That is
karate?
not a Chuck Norris.
Okay, but
I
just
really want
picture,
Chuck Norris to cosplay as Satan.
yeah, but just like picture Chuck Norris with like horns doing roundhouse kicks, like
LaVey believed that
moves.
humans' animal nature should be indulged,
Yes.
not repressed,
Yes.
and in opposition to Christianity's path of self-denial. Let's
Wow.
hear from LaVey, our actor playing LaVey.
See, I'm gonna start
Not
getting-
the
Wait,
actual
we don't
LaVey.
have him?
We don't have LaVey.
He
I
wasn't
do
in the
not.
I
budget.
quit, okay?
On Saturday night, I would see men lusting after half-naked girls dancing at the carnival. And on Sunday morning, when I was playing organ for a tent show evangelists at the other end of the carnival lot, I would see these same men sitting in the pews with their wives and children, asking God to forgive them and purge them of carnal desires. And then next Saturday, they'd be back at the carnival or some other place of indulgence. I knew then that the Christian church thrives on hypocrisy, and man's carnal nature will out no matter how much it is purged or scoured by any white light religion.
LaVey's church officially opposed murder and cruelty to animals, but LaVey also believed, in line with Crowley's sentiments in the Book of the Law, that the weak should be trampled by the strong, and that vengeance was good and natural.
You should do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But if your courtesy is not returned, they should be treated with the wrath they deserve.
LaVey did not worship Satan, but rather conceived of Satan as a symbol of opposition to hierarchical and traditional authority.
Say it again for the people in the back.
LaVey did not worship Satan. Keep going.
Yes.
But rather conceived of Satan as a symbol of opposition to hierarchical and traditional authority.
Thank you. Everyone, that's the biggest misconception. Is that right there?
Cleared up here on Occult Confessions.
Thank you.
Ironically, LaVey created a hierarchical structure of grottos. Oh no. Satanist groups organized under his central grotto. I do like the concept of a grotto.
What's a grotto?
They're like his version of churches, little church groups.
It's also
all in
a
his
pizza
order.
place.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, when I think of grotto, I think of pizza.
Interesting. That might just be an Eastern Shore thing.
And gelato. They have gelato.
Gelato at the grotto?
Sound the same.
Gelato at the grotto.
Now I'm hungry.
You're welcome.
Anyway, so they organized in 1975, but then they splintered. Sorry. They splintered in 1975. Don't get confused. And
Ow.
they became independent
Splinters hurt.
Oh my gosh.
because they didn't believe in hierarchy because he told them not to believe in hierarchy after setting up a hierarchy.
There's an issue there.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a little organizational problem there. This led to the formation of the Temple of Set, a fun group. A group organized by the former U.S. Army officer Michael Aquino. Oh boy, this is going to get fun. Aquino claimed to have specialized in psychological warfare during Vietnam. He joined LaVey's Church of Satan before leaving on his tour of Vietnam and became a high priest after his return to San Francisco. Dissatisfied with LaVey's Satanism, he partnered with his future wife, the Satanist priestess Lilith Sinclair, based in New York, and together they established a new order. Aquino was briefly embroiled in controversy when California's Presidio Army Base became the center of a scandal involving ritual child abuse. Like all of these cases, the claims were fabricated. But unfortunately for Aquino, he had been stationed at the base a few years earlier, and this marked one of the only substantive connections between the panic and actual Satanism. Despite the stain of these allegations, Aquino remained with the military and retired a lieutenant colonel in 1994. The Temple of Set uses LaVey's Satanic Bible, but they have a strict quasi-Masonic hierarchy with degrees and initiations. They just love hierarchy. Olivia's rolling her eyes, which you can't hear.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
If you could fix that, thank you.
That would be
Do
great.
it a little louder.
What
Louder
if I
eye
could, like,
rolls.
jingle when I rolled them? That'd be...
You want me to just add a sound effect of you jingling? Weird. That'd be real weird. They replace Satan with
try
the
it?
Egyptian Set and strive for a kind of self-evolution that places the individual beyond what they consider to be the herd mentality of most humans. Both LaVey and Aquino follow Crowley's call to be guided by one's own will. If you haven't heard our Crowley episodes, you can go back and check that out. But Aquino places more emphasis on a left-handed magical path. According to the Temple of Set, the left-handed or black magic path is focused on self-gratification, whereas the right-handed or white magic path is about transcending the ego.
The left-hand path involves the conscious attempt to preserve and strengthen one's isolate, psyche-centric existence against the objective universe while apprehending, comprehending, and influencing a varying number of subjective universes. The right-hand path involves the conscious attempt to dissolve or merge the self with the objective universe.
We might think of yoga or Buddhism as good examples of right-handed attempts to release the ego and merge with a universal oneness. Also Christianity, maybe, Jacob? What do you think?
In a way, I guess.
Jesus wants you to give up all your stuff and
Yeah, but you're not supposed to be one with the world. That's the thing. You're supposed to separate yourself
be one with
from
God.
Yeah, so one.
You're immersing yourself, in God.
Just not this plain.
I see.
Wicca's right hand, then, right? Kind of? Would you argue?
I think so, yeah. Well, go ahead.
I mean, I guess, right? I mean, at the end of the day, your role as a Wiccan is that, I mean, not your role, but you know that when you die, you're going to go back into the earth. So that's literally a oneness, right? I guess.
So you're trying to unify with the earth.
Yeah.
Be one with nature.
I mean, and it's the idea that the
energies
energies
is just to become one with something.
So as a
Literally,
Wiccan
Wiccans-
Satanist, you're at odds with yourself.
Well, here's the thing. Wiccans have to be cremated, and I already want to be cremated because there's no way I'm paying for a casket.
What happens to Satanists? They get bronzed?
I don't think they really care.
Oh.
It's not really about, they don't believe in anything after.
Well, as an alchemical actor, I'm going to ask that we all get bronzed at death.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Does that mean
Alright.
you just pour liquid bronze on?
Yeah,
it?
how do
After
you
we
do
die,
that?
they bronze us. You know, you can like bronze baby shoes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll get bronzed.
So we'll just be covered in...
We'll be covered in bronze. we'll find some place where we can prop our bodies up.
Oh, so we'll be on display.
Yeah, of
Can
course.
they put us back in our green
So,
room?
but we'll be. I don't know if we'll be on display. We'll be deep in the woods so that teenagers can take legend trips to
Okay,
see
but what
us.
pose
Oh,
would
like
the
we
legend
do?
Medusa,
trips.
but not.
It's up to you how you pose.
have to
As your
pose.
leader, I'm not going to dictate poses.
Oh.
We do believe in free expression
We
here
need
at
a
Occult
group
Confessions.
like a group pose.
Yeah,
that, like,
chemical
makes
actors.
sense.
Oh, you want a group pose,
Oh,
but we all have to
yeah.
die
I wanna be
simultaneously then.
like individualized.
You know what?
Now
As
we're
long
getting
as
into a
I'm
cult. This
naked,
is
I don't
becoming a cult.
care.
We are, Shannon, we're
We
not
weren't
dying
already?
at the same time.
What are we gonna have to drink
But-
the Kool-Aid?
No, no
It
Kool-Aid.
wasn't even Kool-Aid.
You have to.
I know
You
it
die
wasn't.
when you die. You die on your own terms. We're going too far into this.
We can just add your bronze body to the collection once you're done.
I find that healthier. Yes.
I wasn't saying we all had to die at the same. You know what? You're putting words in my mouth, Rob. that I don't appreciate.
Shannon wants us.
All right, so according to Aquino, both paths are selfish insofar as the practitioner has personal reasons for undergoing the magical journey. According to Aquino, lesser black magic involves manipulating others to achieve your own ends and includes stage magic and propaganda. But greater black magic manipulates the magician's own subjective universe in order to reshape the practitioner's experience and may have an impact on the surrounding world.
So, chaos magic?
But, you
In a
know,
way.
before. I
Right.
think, yeah. Well, not before.
Well, I mean, it's
It's
based on
popular
the
now.
Yeah.
The theory and practice of non-natural interaction with the subjective universe is defined as greater black magic. It involves first the exploration of one's subjective universe, other subjective universes which may be involved, and relevant portions of the objective universe to their conceptual frontiers, if not limits. There follows a precise, coherent, and deliberate focusing of the will of the creative self to adjust features of the subjective universes, personal and others, to the desired state, which may or may not be real in the objective universe. The concept of magic postulates that there is a tenuous link, generally referred to as the magical link, between the objective and subjective universes. Hence, a change occurring in one will have at least a partially similar effect in the other.
All right, so who would you rather drink blood with?
LaVey.
LaVey or Aquino? Aquino? Aquino.
I don't know. You cut the PhD.
Not in Aquino. Not in Satanism.
Why not both?
You want to drink blood with both?
I'd
Well,
rather
what's
not
your
drink
I don't
preference?
think they would.
What's your
Actually,
preference?
I faint when I see blood.
Oh, so you wouldn't want to drink blood at all.
Maybe
I mean, I just don't think I would be
you're
able
out of the
to.
grotto.
Oh, so you prefer LaVey though, Olivia? Why is that?
Which I guess is maybe interesting to say.
Because I feel like he's got more of the moral system, whereas
He-
as
yeah.
Aquino's more of the magical system.
Right.
He's
So
more occult, really.
That's literally what I was just about to say. I feel like he focuses like, not that I know of Satanists that do like magic. Like there's like LaVey's wife literally wrote a book on being a satanic witch.
Okay.
But I feel like LaVey and Satanism is more of like a philosophical stance on life. Like it's more of a religion in like, to me, like a way of looking at life. Whereas, but I practice magic with that, if that makes sense. So I like LaVey.
They like coincide for you.
Yeah,
in a way.
but I guess I prescribe so much to LaVey and like, I don't know. Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
I'd like to have a debate with Aquino. I like the way he thinks. I like the loopy language that he uses.
I want to know like the details of his.
You can read.
Yeah.
You can read Aquino. He's on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've read a little bit about the Temple of Set, but
And you can see both of their eyebrows.
Ugh.
Yeah,
But
we got. I think we
LaVey's-
should. Let's post. We'll make that the image for this podcast. We'll have comparison pictures of LaVey and
We have
Aquino.
to
like
draw
if you
all
look
the
up pictures
eyebrows.
of LaVey, it looks like he hasn't aged in a million years until, well, he's dead now, right?
We may not agree with the finer points or even the broad outline of LaVey's and Aquino's ethics, but their unique brands of Satanism are, from the standpoint of physical violence, if not ideology, largely non-threatening.
They really aren't.
They completely oppose human sacrifice and even animal sacrifice as ethical violations. This separated them from murder cults, either claiming or actually practicing satanic worship. Just as Satan had surfaced in music, on the silver screen, and in panicky daytime talk shows, black magic as a means to achieve criminal ends had become a rare and sensational part of Western culture's dark underbelly. Yeah. So, in this episode, I think we've done a reasonable job of separating the religion of Satanism from the legends of Satanism.
Yeah.
which were all pretty much made up during the panic. Satanism became kind of like a scapegoat.
Yeah.
They're like, why are my kids acting out?
Satan. That's why.
It's
Satan.
still used as
Who
a
else?
scapegoat.
Who else?
Satan has always been used as a scapegoat.
Right.
So Satanism.
This goes way back to the Middle Ages. But in the next episode, we're going to talk about the way Satan began to surface in actual crime that was being committed. Serious crime.
I'm really excited.
Real murder cults, which really existed.
But it's important to listen to this episode and understand that Satan is not inherently bad.
Yeah, I think we've got that out. So now let's talk about murder cults.
Yay!
Just as Satan had become a real inspiration for two whole religious movements, there were real quasi-satanic killers lurking in the shadows. And that's what we're going to tackle in part 2 of our exploration of Satanism.
Da da da. Satanism. I don't remember what my old song was.
Yeah, it's a completely different song now.
It's fine. We had rewrites.
I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, the musical has rewrites. The musical version of Olivia Loves Satanism.
Yeah, I've been rewriting it.
Go Satanism.
Go Satanism. Copyright.
Oh, that's copyrighted.
Copyright.
We might be covered under parody, but it's a weird parody, that's for sure.
Don't come for my brand.
That's a matter of opinion, Rob.
Let's close this one on up. Olivia, please.
I hereby adjourn and declare closed this meeting of the secret order of alchemical actors until such a time as we get together and do it again.
Nice.
Satanism.
We had Hunter Sheeler, Morgan Jung, John Cook, Sam Steen, and Brianna Litterall in our voices, doing our voices today. And Brandon Walls was the voice of Aquino at the end there. Very true. Joining us in discussion. Oh, well, we had our brief history. Ray Candela brought us our brief history today.
Our brief history
And
debut.
joining us in discussion, we had Jacob Wheatley,
Yeah.
Knight of the Dangling Serpent.
That is I. Dangling all the serpents.
And Shannon Landers, our Instaquisitor.
Goodbye, everyone.
And Olivia Litterall, Grand Master of the Order.
You can find on Amazon the Satanic Bible for like $12 if you're curious. It's a good read if you're curious about the occult.
Okay, $12.
Yeah, it's worth it.
All right. So,
Why did I just plug them? I don't know.
we do want to. It's good.
$12 on our Patreon.
I like to.
I mean, I feel like we didn't state enough that there's an actual physical Bible. I guess we did, but it still exists that you can read, and
You
it's
can read
very
it.
short.
Right. So, we encourage you to visit our website as well for other resources that we've used on this podcast today. Victor's Satanic Panic book, for example. And we also encourage you to subscribe and to like and to Insta us,
Yeah.
Gram-wise.
Join
Yes.
the Patreon fam.
Join the Patreon
the other
fam.
Instas,
Just
just
$1 a
Gram-wise.
month is enough to encourage us. And
Yeah.
our patrons this month, Shannon, what did they receive?
They got a fun little postcard in the mail.
Yeah, they got
Yeah.
our official Occult Confessions holiday card.
Bright solstice to you all.
Bright
I've been
solstice.
saying
yeah,
that to
Yule.
everyone lately.
It
I
is
guess-
Christmas when
Ooh.
Satan goes where again?
Oh no.
Where does he go at
Place
Christmas?
of no grass.
Satan.
We just figured this out. We were talking about it.
Cemetery.
No. He goes to that cemetery at Halloween, and I was
Oh,
just said
you're
where
right.
Satan went
Lawrence,
at Christmas
the
time.
mall.
Kansas?
He goes to the Mall of America,
Mall.
yes, where you can see Satan at the Mall of America.
Yeah, he will be signing autographs. Maybe.
He's a finicky,
Maybe.
Yeah.
finicky man.
Depends.
All right, we will
Depends.
catch you all next time for our second installment of the satanic thing, Satanism.
Yeah, we should collab. You should create a music, and I'll sing
Oh,
over it.
I
One
thought you
music,
meant with
please.
Satan.
Or we should collab and make a podcast. Let's make a podcast.
Let's get a podcast together.
That
What
sounds like a
if we
good
do
idea.
that?
Yeah.
Cool.
We should
Bye,
do that
guys. We're gonna
sometime.
go make a podcast.